Yep.
So what is a wholesale fee or a contract?
All right.
Is it a contract or fee?
Yeah, so it is a contract. Well, your fee is your fee, right? Your fee is what you get paid for wholesaling. But the premise of wholesaling is that you are assigning your contract, what we call flipping your contract. So the house, like the house we've seen, if that made sense to you after you did your due diligence, right? You got the comps, you got your all-in cost, and all those things. So you as an investor who's going to use a wholesale strategy, you would put a contract on that property. It'll be for 30 to 45 days or whatever you negotiated. But in your contract, we teach you how to put clauses in it. It'd be like a template already, but you have clauses. One clause is that this contract is assignable, meaning I can assign it to someone else, my rights. The other clause or clauses are that you can walk away from this deal if you can't find financing. You can walk away from the deal if you don't approve of the inspection. These are your contingency clauses that allow you to walk away without getting penalized for not buying it, right? So it protects your interest. So now with your assignment fee, you simply contract the property. If you find a end investor or end buyer, it could be a homeowner, it could be an investor looking to flip, investor looking to buy and rent. You can say, hey, look, this property is dope. I looked at it, it makes sense. Here's your comps, here's your all-in cost. And for you to have rights to this contract, I need $5,000, or I need $1,500, or I need $10,000, $40,000, $500, whatever it is. So you'll judge that assignment fee based on how much equity is there in the property, how attractive the property is, and how desperate the end investor or end buyer is. And they'll pay you a fee. It could be upfront, non-refundable, or it could be a deposit, and then the full fee at closing. Once they close a deal, they pay you a fee. Legitimately and legally, you can make money just by assigning the contract.
And also, tell me another question. So I hear most investors do this. They get their comps, they automatically times it by 70 or 65, and they subtract the rehab costs. Now, is that a good formula to put away the deal? And plus their assignment fee. Is that a good way to put away?
I mean, it's the same thing.
Oh, it's the same thing you just talking about?
Yeah, okay. It's the same thing. You think about it, right? So they find their comps.
Yeah.
And
by 65.
Right. They times 0.65.
Yeah.
Right. That's gonna give them the ratio, the all the number they want to be at.
Yeah.
Right. So now they're gonna say, what are my rehab costs? Okay, is this much?
Okay.
And my wholesale fee is this much.
Okay.
So that means my acquisition fee is the only thing that's left.
Okay.
The other number that's left is how much I got to buy it for.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. I mean, it is a good way to work backwards, but it's the same thing. So it says, Mr. Investor, or excuse me, Miss Homeowner, Mr. Homeowner, seller, I can only offer you this much because you know in your head anyway why you can only offer them that much, because your wholesale fee is this much, your rehab fee is this much, right? And you're capped at your 65% ratio.
Now, how do you negotiate? Like, what's the best way of negotiating? Like, say if you're in a whole, you know what I mean? Say the contract came in, how do you talk a seller down, basically?
Well,
it depends what their situation is.
Correct.
Okay.
So the first thing I was going to say to that, one of the most important things in negotiation and in consulting, so I'm teaching you guys how to be a consultant, right? Even in your business. So the biggest thing with a seller is you want to ask as many questions as possible. So again, like I said with the Panama deal, you want to have as much information as possible. Now you leverage that information to your benefit. Mm-hmm. So you want to find out, huh? Oh, excuse me. So you want to find out, why are you selling? Are you looking to close immediately? I mean, I have a cash buyer that's, ready to close ASAP. Could you close next week if we have the cash on the table? Mm-hmm. You want to find out how anxious or how desperate they are to sell. Is it because of a divorce? Is it because you're in foreclosure? Is it because you're facing a short sale? Is it because you got with a tax lien? So all those things will work to your benefit to know. If they're like, no, I'm just selling because, I have 8 properties and I'm ready to move down.
They're not motivated.
Yeah, they're not as motivated as someone else. Okay. So you still could try their hand. Okay, they could be lying too. They could be smart too, and they could be saying it right. So you could still try their hand, but at least you're in a position where you have some potentially accurate information and say, well, this seller is not really motivated. But if someone in there, they're breaking down in tears and they're like, yo, I'm about to, lose everything. And unfortunately that, we may make a profit. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, we may make a profit off of their distress, which is how the world works, how capitalism works anyway. And that's the world, the society we live in. So fortunately, of their distress, yes, we are looking to see where we can help alleviate that pain, right? Because they're stressing and crying and whatever because, one, maybe because they're losing the property, but two, because of the financial burden. Yeah, the financial burden and the stress, right, of all this coming down on me, right? Because outside of their home, they got other bills and whatever they're going through. So once you understand their full predicament, then that gives you, you know, your angles on how to negotiate, really, right? And in any negotiation, whoever cares the least wins. So if you care more about your wholesale check or your investor check, if you care more about your fee than they care about getting rid of the property, they're always going to be able to have the leverage on you in a negotiation. Because you like, man, I got some bills due, man, like, shoot, like, so you're going to be like, you know what, fine. So you'll take a less price because you desperate to get a check. So you'll be like, you know what, all right, let's just get it done. So maybe you'll give them a, you know, you'll buy it for more or contract it for more because you're like, yo, I need a check, I need a closing myself. But now if you like, yo, I'm good right now, like, you know what I'm saying, like, my bill's covered, property's going well, they stressing, all right, I'll sit back, cool, all right, we don't gotta do it then, but call me when you're ready to talk business. So it's all about leverage, and that's why I said the brand building and your brand confidence is so big, is because now when this seller or this seller's representative looks you up and they see that you're active and everything you say has real estate in it and you seem like this big hot shot, whether you're new to the business or not, you can position yourself very easily as high as you want. That gives you leverage in negotiation as well. Because now they're not just dealing with Joe Smo out here who's a crumb snatcher trying to wholesale, right? You got all these people in all these inner cities which try to wholesale because they kind of get it, but they have no presence, they have no business cards, no website, no nothing. So now you're a wholesaler, but when I go Google you, you got like a picture of you smoking a blunt on your Instagram profile. It's like, that don't give you any leverage in a situation. But now if you look me up and I'm sharp and I'm dapper and my page is clean and everything else, it's like, man, like I'm dealing with somebody that's about their business. And so those little things also give you an advantage.